The August Worlds update in No Man's Sky has brought quite a few newcomers to our little corner of the universe, and the recent fishing edition has also drawn in even more. But I know that there are a lot of you who are still on the fence asking yourself and others, is now a good time to check out No Man's Sky? Well, today I will give you 5 reasons that I believe that you should check it out. Starting with number 5, the hype. Right now, the attention that No Man's Sky is getting is at an all-time high. Anyone talking about the game generally has conversations surrounding No Man's Sky in a positive light from almost every single aspect. And it seems like people are just as excited about the game's present and its future as they are about its past. And it is a great time to be a part of that conversation. You won't find many stories out there right now that aren't trumpeting the success of Hello Games' well-earned victory lap, as they celebrate their 8th year anniversary with a part 1 of a 2-part World Generation refresh. This buzz has generated an entire new group of travelers jumping online to post pictures and stories of their journey in and around the seemingly endless universe of No Man's Sky. Of course, a story where a developer botches the launch and then hangs in there to make things right is nothing new. We get that one all the time. But Hello Games is one of the original developers to start that trend, and their name is likely the highest up on that list because of how long that they've been on it, and the massive turnaround they were able to pull off in that time. Mind you, this was not immediate. It took a while to course correct. But when I dove back in 3 or so years ago, Hello Games was already moving in the right direction with a community of dedicated travelers moving right alongside them. Which brings me to number 4, Hello Games itself. Now, there are some amazing game developers out there, and Hello Games is one of them. As mentioned, this game has been out for 8 years now, and it currently has, if you did not know this, over 30 expansions up to this point that are all 100% free. They range from simpler additions like the recent fishing update we got to complete overhauls of systems like we got with the Worlds update back in August. And while they are not perfect by any means, I don't want to say that they are or make you think that they are, because they have put out some poorly received updates in recent years. But Hello Games never completely buries their heads and leaves the community in the dark. One example that stands out for me is when the boosted tech slots that were added in a few years ago didn't exactly pan out. I don't remember exactly the details, but a popular way to enhance the tech for your suit, your ships, and your multi-tools was just pretty much negated. The community outcry for change was absolutely massive. But Hello Games didn't stand on top of the building and cry out about how their vision for the tech should have always worked was finally realized. No, Hello Games realized they made a mistake and walked back some of it to a point that made the community much happier, while also accomplishing their own goal of updating the tech in the process. I am streamlining this a bit for the sake of video length, because while most of the community was respectful and things were, working out as you would like it to, some of the community did get a little bit out of pocket and made things difficult. This is sadly a trend we see more and more, but all things considered, I feel like the No Man's Sky community pulled it off and pulled through in the end and has massive respect for Hello Games still to this day. And now for number 3, the expansions. Now, I've already mentioned the more than 30 expansions that this game already has, because they are the meat of what makes No Man's Sky as good as it is today. But it's not just the content or the expansions itself. When one of these updates are announced, this becomes one of the rallying points for the entire community. John Murray, the managing director at Hello Games, will tweet out what seems to be a random emoji. This will usually happen 3 or so days before the expansion launches. This works as an unofficial announcement that something new is coming. The community races online for the next couple of days, full of excitement, speculating about what the emoji could mean, because it's never as random as it seems. Once Wednesday hits, because the update always comes out on a Wednesday, everyone soars into the servers to experience the new content after a trailer drops that morning. And these are not expansion packs that you have to add in individually as you go on your No Man's Sky journey. No, these are already baked into the main game and are largely accessible around 2 or so hours in, if not right away, with a few caveats. So what that means is that if you have just barely started your No Man's Sky journey on the same day that an expansion has arrived, you are in good hands because it's already in place for you to run into it organically. I love that about the game because if this does happen to you, it becomes a whole experience for yourself on its own. And these types of stories are the cornerstone of the No Man's Sky community. Now, about halfway through the expansions that Hello Games was announcing, another addition became as popular as well. These are called expeditions, and they are a genius idea. I mean, you already have the community excited about your new content, and they're piling into the game to see it and jumping onto the subreddit to talk about it. So what's the best thing for you to do? Well, send the whole community on a field trip together on the other side of the universe to get some new stuff. Which will bring us to number 2, which will obviously be those expeditions. One of the No Man's Sky community's favorite things to do is to do brand new runs of No Man's Sky. I'm talking starting fresh with a new save on a new planet with new challenges, maybe increase survivability settings, or just limiting themselves to playing in specific ways during the run. This honestly could be considered a universal pastime in No Man's Sky. And the expeditions that launch alongside the expansions help to keep that part of the community so well fed. Myself, personally, I play one save that I have expanded on ever since I reinstalled the game a few years ago. I deleted my original save from 2016 in the process, but in that time I have built up an entire empire within the game. I have collected money, materials, unique ships, unique languages, planets, all types of things over the course of just under 550 hours. A good portion of the No Man's Sky community will do the exact same thing, but they will have multiple saves with a few hundred hours on each. Most of which will be from past expeditions. You see, expeditions are treated like missions that take place in a specific set of planets somewhere Hello Games has hand selected. You start fresh, just like in a new save. But when you hit your expedition goals, you get rewarded. You'll have 5 minor goals per phase and 5 total phases with the reward at the end of each phase. The big attractions are the major goals, though, that give you rewards you can receive back in your main save. But your minor rewards will include materials, tools, technology even, nanites, money, things that you would usually not see for several hours into a normal playthrough. This makes surviving the area you start in much easier. But even cooler than that, if you're playing online during this expedition, you're doing it with other members of the No Man's Sky community. And the community's discoveries, the community's bases, and even the members of the community themselves can be found while you're out on your adventure. It can have its downsides. The servers do get a little bit laggy sometimes during the missions, not all the time. And also, you will have the occasional troll trying to do what they can to make your life a little bit more miserable. But the upsides, like people making bases that you can teleport to for later phases, far outweigh the bad. Which brings me to the final reason, which is the community. We have mentioned them in each and every single example we have today, and it was an easy pick for them to be my number 1. No community is perfect, we know this, but this specific community is pretty damn amazing. I just mentioned that there are community members that will take the initiative during expeditions. Some will make sure you fellow travelers have a spot to teleport to, like I mentioned, but others create entire bases to farm crucial mission objectives. And there are some who will just make rest stops for you to refine your materials, maybe cook some food and save your progress before heading back out into the wilds of the universe. This community will see a newcomer to the game, which isn't hard to spot since we all start with the exact same spaceship, but they'll see them and begin to give them generous amounts of rare materials and tech. And I cannot count the times that someone popped into the subreddit and said that someone in the Anomaly, the No Man's Sky version of Destiny's Tower, made them rich while they were there. Or how many times someone felt slighted by the game because something was particularly hard to find, only to have someone offer the same thing up and want absolutely nothing in return. There really isn't too much you can't ask the No Man's Sky community for or to help you out with, because they're just all generally nice people. I mean, I've seen new travelers post images of old weird things that the community has known about for years. And instead of making fun of them posting, years old content, the vets will jump into the comments and almost every single time share their stories of the first time that they saw that exact same thing. These travelers will take your pictures, your stories, all of your No Man's Sky experience, and treat it like it was their first time, just so you can feel as welcome as they feel now. It really is just an experience that is next to none, and it happens in a subreddit. It's pretty freaking awesome. But seriously, that is it. Super simple, but those are my top 5 reasons that you should maybe check out No Man's Sky right now. I do have a bonus reason for those of you that are still here. Currently, we're in the middle of our first ever 2-part update, and the excitement surrounding the mystery of what else could be refreshed grows on a daily basis. It is slowly simmering even more hype to be released at some point, hopefully before the end of the year. We don't have many details about this, which is why it did not make my top 5, but it is exciting and yet another reason it is a perfect time for you to join us. So my name has been Captain Cash the Stampede, Space Cowboy. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.